Kieran. The first risk on the agenda will be if the gate is not open correctly. So, just get here. This is not open correctly. People could run into it and severely injure themselves. The severity of this risk would be a 2. The probability would probably be a 2 as well. Which makes the risk score a total of 4. To control this measure, first of all, make sure the gate is open correctly, and make sure that everyone is clear of the area if it's not. The new risk score would now be 2, because the probability would be 1. So 1 times 2 would be 2.
Good maths.
Yeah. Right. The next outdoor risk will be litter on the floor here. So the severity will be 2. The probability will be 2, which makes the total risk score of 4. The reason the severity will be so high is because, say if someone goes in for a slide tackle and they cut their leg really bad, the cut could be quite deep, so that would be high. That would be high severity. The probability will be high because there's litter in quite a large number of places, as you can see here. So yeah. To prevent measures to prevent this risk, first of all you check that the pitch is safe to play on first, and then you clear any litter away to make sure that there is not too much litter on the pitch. You could put bins in place so people can use them instead of throwing litter everywhere. And yeah, it's a place for the players to put the litter. This will make the new risk score at 2, because the severity will be 1, the will be 2, and the probability will be 1. Right, the third risk we have is left out equipment. So as you can see here, there's lots of equipment left out, and the severity for this would be probably at 1. The probability would be a 2, which makes the total risk score of 2. To decrease the risk control measures would be first of all, move the bags out of the way to make sure there's nobody can trip over them. Then you can make sure that the players removed all of their stuff as well, other stuff off the pitch, just so it's all cleared away. New risk score would be so the severity will be 1, the probability will be 1, and then new risk score will be 1. So if you don't put these measures in place, then people could trip over the bags or leftover equipment and cut the legs or bruise quite easily. So it's important that you get this cleared away.
Broken goalposts or goal nets could be a hazard. The severity of it, if someone was to be hurt by them, would be a 2 out of 3, and the probability of getting hurt by a broken goal like this is probably 2, making the risk score 4. A control measure for a broken goal like this, like a broken net or a broken goalpost, would be to cordon it off, take it off the court, put it towards the side, make sure it's out of order sign so everyone knows that you should not be using this goal. Coaches should be made aware that these goals are not in use because they're a hazard to people that are using them. You should get maintenance to fix it or replace them before they are put back in use. This sign should be taken away and people should be allowed to use the goals again. After this, the regular checks should be put on the goals to make sure this does not happen again, because if it happens again, it's just going to become the same problem. If these control measures are done, the severity will still be 2, the probability will be down to 1, as they will be cordoned off and people are less likely to get hurt, making the new risk score 2. This is decreasing the chance of people getting hurt by getting tangled in the net or getting tripped or hurt by a sharp piece of goalpost. The control measure could be improved by alerting the whole campus that the goal is out of use. They could have signs on the entrance. It could be put on the website that this is out of use, so everyone knows that these goals are not in use. The control measure should be put in place quickly, and so everyone knows, because if the later they are put on, the more chance there is of someone getting hurt. These are needed if the goals are done wait, stop it a sec. Reduced, I think all the control measures I've put in place could not be improved. I think they really do reduce the risk of someone getting hurt, and if they do get hurt, the probability of it being a serious injury. There is more than one control measure, because the fence could be moved out and the goal lines could be moved in. They both do the same job, but it's just whatever's easier for the maintenance. I do really think that the control measure of the crash mats being there would help someone get hurt less if they were to fall into the fence. This control measure would bring a safer environment for a coach, because they feel safe that the children are not going to get hurt by running into the fence. Also, they may not have to squeeze into one area inside the pitch whilst doing a coaching session because of the fear of a child hitting the fence. Yes. The distance between the sideline and the outer fence could be a hazard, because the spectators have got to stand in this distance here. The bags have got to be here, although they could be in that area there, which is obviously a control measure for the bags to be in that area there. Also, this distance between here and here is short, so if someone was to walk, run whilst playing and fall off the pitch, they may hit on this fence. The severity if someone was to get tripped into this fence would be a 3. The probability of it happening in a game when they're running at full pelt is probably a 2, making the risk score really high, and it is a big 6. The control measure for this would move the pitch lines in or move the fence out. Also, adding another bagging and spectator area, because if the goals are in there, the small goals are in there, there's no room for bags or spectators. Also, if there was crash mats at the side of the pitch on these fences whilst a game was in play, that would be really good, and it'd definitely reduce the risk of someone getting hurt. Both of these would reduce the severity. If there was crash mats, it would reduce the severity to a 2 instead of a 3, and the probability of someone getting hurt would probably be a 1, so that's really good. And the new risk score is 2. Stop it, Bob.
Right, so the second risk for indoors is broken equipment, such as goals, got holes in the net, example. So if this happens, then the goalkeeper or player could put the foot through the hole, and it could cause a severe injury connected to the goalpost. Like, for example, we could whack the shin, whack the heads, anything, get the boot stuck in the net, anything could happen, and could cause itself a severe injury. The severity will be a 2. The probability will be a 2, and that will make the risk score of 4. To prevent this happening in the future, you need to make sure that the broken equipment is out of the way, or sorted out or fixed, so that it's safe to use, and it will prevent injuries like this happening to children. The risk is plug sockets open. For example, these are put down in a minute, but if these are open, children could be liable to putting their hands in plug sockets like this and electrocuting themselves. The severity of this will be 3, because it could result in death, obviously. The probability will be 2, and that makes the overall risk score of 6. To prevent this happening or make it a less probable chance of happening, you ensure that the area is clear of the plug socket. Then make sure that you put a cap on the plug socket to prevent people electrocuting themselves. So this will make the severity 3, the probability of 1, and the new risk score would then be 3. The third indoor risk would be water on the floor. This could be caused by leftover bottles in the way, and probably leaked out in the past and nobody's cleaned this up, and this could cause children to slip on this and cause severe injuries. The severity of this would be 2, the probability of it happening would be a 2, and the risk score would be a 4, because firstly, you need to make sure that the water is removed off of the floor and is cleaned up. So this will cause a safer environment. This will prevent people from slipping over and injuring themselves. The severity of this will be 2, the probability will be 1, and the new risk score would now be 2, because it makes it a lot safer environment, a lot more safer environment for the children to play in.
Is the mats that are being left out. These mats could be used and then left out, so people might trip or fall on them onto the floor, or again into the wall, causing massive damage to the person who trips. This means it could be really hurt. It could cause problems like sprains, strains, and abrasions and dislocations. So the severity is quite high. I'd probably give it a 3 because some serious injuries can occur while tripping on some piece of equipment left out. The probability of happening if they are left out is probably a 2 because people are going to trip on these pieces of equipment, making the risk score a 6. The control measures would be to put them away, making sure they are not left out around the floor before you when you start your session. Coaches should be aware that these should not be left out, they should put them away. It should be the coach's responsibility to put them away at the end of their session. There should be storerooms like the one over there, so the equipment can be put away properly. This would be the severity would be the same and brought down to still a 2, still a 3 even, but the probability would now be down to a 1 as they are either out of the way and the coaches know to put them away at the end of their session. Plus the kids should also aware that the coach, if they do see a piece of equipment left out, as this would also bring the measure down. Hazard would be wall equipment like this and these around us. These hang off the walls and do hang out of the wall, so if someone was to run into the side of them or be barged into the wall, this would hurt more than hitting the wall itself. The severity if someone was to get hit or be hurt by something, one of these falling on them would probably be a 3 because it may kill them if it was to fall on them. The probability of it happening is a 2 if they are not tied back properly or they are quite out hanging from the wall. This means the risk score is now a 6. This is not good because this means it is a high risk of it happening. The control measures would be to tighten it to the wall properly, make sure you haven't got equipment that is overhanging from the wall too much, and make sure that people are aware that there are pieces of equipment there and what to do and how to act when they are around that area. This would bring the severity down to a 2 because they are less likely to be barged because people are aware that they are there, and they are less likely to be going in full contact when they're around these areas. The probability is now a 1 as it brings it down because they are tightened back properly and they're smaller, so it's going to hurt less. So the new risk score is a 2, which is much better than the original 6. The control measure for these would be to put them towards the side or put them in an area where people are not using them, or where people are not coaching or playing. They could be put in a container or out of the sports hall, but they should definitely be put out of the way so people don't trip on them. If they were put out of the way, no one was less likely to get hurt, so the probability will go down to a 1. But if someone was, obviously the severity will still stay the same because it's still likely to get a bad injury if they do trip from it. So the new risk score is now a 2, which is a lot better than the original 6.